So let's not waste any of your time. Here are the top storylines that you need to keep on notice heading in to the final week of the 2023 MLB season. Michael, go ahead and start the music. First up, the race for the AL West. Guys, there are 3 teams playing for potentially only 2 playoff spots with the Houston Astros, the Texas Rangers, and the Seattle Mariners, all of which have a shot of not only winning the division, but all also have a shot of not making the playoffs altogether. Houston right now is 2.5 games back of the Texas Rangers, who currently sit up top at 87-68. Meanwhile, the Seattle Mariners are sitting at 84-71, 3 games back, only a half game back of the Houston Astros. This is going to be a really intriguing matchup down the stretch because the Mariners have the toughest pathway to get there. They have to face off against the Astros and the Rangers. The Rangers have to play the Angels and Seattle. And Houston, albeit, might be the most complete team and have the pedigree of once they get to the playoffs, knowing that they've been there, done that before, have games against the Mariners and the Arizona Diamondbacks to close out their season. Every one of these teams is susceptible to losses, and every single one of these teams is susceptible to wins. You could see all 3 make it in the postseason stretch if Toronto falls apart as well. But what's also going to be interesting is the tiebreaker. Seattle holds the tiebreaker over Houston, but Texas holds the tiebreaker over Seattle. Something to monitor going into the final week. Definitely one of these 3 teams could be left for dead when all things are said and done. Next up, the race for the final 3 spots in the NL wildcard. 6 teams, kind of 7 because San Diego technically has not been eliminated, have a shot of being one of those final 3 teams. Here's what I will say. Philadelphia, I think, is in the playoffs. I don't know where they'll be in the rankings. They may be the 4th seed. They may be the 5th seed, the 6th seed. But I would say that they're in. They got games against the Pirates and the Mets. The D-backs have one more game against the New York Yankees because it was postponed. They'll play today. Then they have a 3-game series against the Chicago White Sox and a 3-game series against the Houston Astros. The Cubs, at one point, looked to be the most dominant team in the NL Central. They may miss out because they have games against the Brewers and the Braves to close out their season. The Miami Marlins are looking to finally end their playoff drought. Games against the Mets and the Pirates to close out their tenure. The Giants, who are still alive because of struggles by other teams, have games against the Padres and the Dodgers. The Reds have games against the Guardians and the Cardinals. And the Padres must find a way to win out against the Giants and the White Sox. Definitely something to monitor. And the matchup styles of how the seeding ends up going might paint a clearer picture of which team could pull off the odds and find a way into the Fall Classic as the 6th seed, the 5th seed, whatever the hell you want to say. Next up, will Garrett Cole lock up his first ever Cy Young Award? Guy's been on point this year. I think at this point the argument's over. It's really between him and Minnesota Twins pitcher Sonny Gray, but he has dominated this year on a lowly New York Yankees team. 2.75 ERA, the lowest in the American League. A 2.12 opponent's batting average, lowest in the American League. A 1.02 whip, second lowest in the American League. 217 strikeouts, 48 walks, and he's only given up 5 more earned runs over Sonny Gray, but he's also done it in 20 more innings pitched. He's probably going to have one more dominant day on the mound. He gets you 7 strong. You might as well just go ahead and mail the trophy to his case. He has been phenomenal this year, but let's just say Sonny Gray does have one of the best performances of a lifetime, and somehow Garrett Cole messes things up. Maybe he won't. I think he's already locked it up, but it will be at least something to monitor. Next up, who wins the NL Cy Young? Guys, this is actually a really tough strategy because when you look at the NL Cy Young race, it is nowhere near close to being over. There's at least 6 guys who I think have at least a somewhat argument in this matchup because they all have had really good success on the mound, whether it be with ERA, Blake Snell, 2.33. You have guys like Koji Senge for the New York Mets, 2.96. You have guys like Justin Steele. He's currently got a 3.0 ERA. He also has 170 strikeouts and a 1.17 whip. You got guys like Zach Gallen. He's currently got a 17-8 record, 3.48 ERA. Not to mention 213 strikeouts. Spencer Strider. He leads the National League in strikeouts with 274, and he also plays for the Atlanta Braves, one of the best teams in baseball. 19-5 record that currently is the most wins in the sport. Logan Webb, he's not going away quietly either. And Zach Wheeler, albeit has not had the best year, but he also has had really difficult situations throughout the way. One of these guys is walking away with the NL Cy Young. How they play in their final week of baseball could end up deciding who gets the hardware. Next up, Ron Acuna's chase towards history. He's already hit his 40th home run. He's one of 5 players this year in Major League Baseball to surpass the 40-burger marker, but he needs 2 more stolen bases to have 70 total stolen bases on the year. 40-70 has never been done before in Major League Baseball. And much like Roger Maris's record being broken last year by the likes of Aaron Judge, that was almost the consensus ceiling deal for him to win AL MVP. He gets 2 more stolen bases. As good as you want to say that Mookie Betts has played down the stretch, this award is his to lose. And even still, I think he's already locked it up. But let's just see if he can be a part of history, one that eventually will either be broken or everyone will compare his name to moving forward. Next up, Freddie Freeman's 3-2-bagger race. He needs 2 more doubles to become just the 6th player and the first since 1936 to finish a regular season with 60-plus doubles. The guy is not as big as a power hitter as we once thought, but he still is clutch. I mean, he has been phenomenal since making the jump over to the Dodgers. 657, my bad. 3 doubles away. My apologies. 57 doubles on the year, 26 home runs, 96 RBIs, 332 batting average. Guy's clutch. Guy's been phenomenal. He gets 60 doubles on the season. I mean, you're putting him in a Hall of Fame resume. The guy's already got basically his spot locked up in Cooperstown, but I want to see what he can continue to do. He is absolutely going to be a part of a very special year. I would love to see him hit 3 more doubles and be a part of history. Speaking of history, Kyle Schwarber's race to 200. Guy is almost 50 home runs. Currently 45. He is 5 away from getting 50 home runs in a regular season. He would join Matt Olson as the only player in Major League Baseball to surpass 50 dingers on the season. He's currently batting 197. The guy is either striking out or is swinging yard. That's what he's doing. Is he going to finish with a 186, a 191 batting average, but have over 45 home runs? Never happened in Major League Baseball. Will be very interesting to see what he can be a part of if he can somehow get to 50 home runs. I would love to actually see it. I think it'd be the funniest stat line of all time. Next up, any chance that Corey Seager can sneak into the American League MVP race? I don't think it's possible. I really don't. But Corey Seager right now has the highest batting average in American League at 333. He has the 2nd or 3rd highest on-base percentage at 394. He has the 2nd highest slugging percentage, only behind Shohei Ohtani at 645. He, if I'm not mistaken, is like 0.3 points behind Shohei for biggest OPS. Not to mention, he does have 33 long balls on the year, 80 RBIs. He has 20 stolen bases. He's done really well on the base path this year. And he leads all players in doubles with 42 in the American League. So I'm not saying that he's going to win the MVP. But what I will say is that if we are going to factor in the injury concern with Shohei Ohtani, you also have to factor in the injury concern with Corey Seager. Maybe it ends up panning out. I don't think it does, but it will be interesting to see what his final stat line is for the Rangers down the stretch. Next up, Adam Wainwright said Miggy's goodbye. Adam Wainwright got to 200 total wins. He's going to make a compelling case for Cooperstown when all is said and done. Does he take the mound one more time for the St. Louis Cardinals before he hangs up the cleats for good? And Miguel Cabrera already is a Hall of Famer. He has 3,000-plus hits, 500-plus home runs. He has a career batting average of 308. It's time to say goodbye to one of the greatest sluggers we have seen in the 21st generation. The race to the record. Atlanta needs 9 home runs to tie the 2019 Twins for the most ever in a single season. They need 10 to break it. Can they do so with sluggers like Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Rod Acuna Jr., Michael Harris, Sean Murphy, and countless others that can absolutely go yard down the final 7 games? And last but not least, will the Orioles grab the number 1 seed in the American League after just being 2 years removed from having 100-plus losses? Or will they lose out and Tampa Bay ends up running the show through St. Pete to the AL postseason.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.